Hi, I'm here with Jon McGuire. He's down in Georgia. I'm going to show you his LinkedIn page here. He is the inventor of the Green Slope Ponding Water Repair Kit, and it's just the case of building a better mousetrap. I talked to John. He reached out to me on LinkedIn about a week ago, and he had done, and correct me if I'm wrong, John, you had been in the commercial roofing business for years, and you hadn't had a good enough cement to stop the ponding, water ponding, so you invented a product. And John's going to give us a demo and go through it, and I'll ask questions here and there. But he's got a great little setup. I love the background. Looks pleasant out there in Georgia, John.
Uh,
So
it's a great day. Thought it'd be better out here for sure.
no kidding. So I'll let you take it over. If I miss something, go ahead and fill it in. But yeah,
Great. Well,
you
I
know,
appreciate it, Dave.
yeah.
Yeah, great opportunity. Great format you have there. I recommend everybody checking it out and
Thank you.
subscribing. And really, it's a good way to share information across the board.
Yep, yep. And
We sorry, go ahead.
no, that's great. Yeah, I was just looking at my record button. I was like, I want to make sure I hit record so I don't
Yeah,
screw
yeah,
this
you
up.
good?
Yep, yep.
Okay, great. Well, we basically real simple. We McGuire Enterprises. We have several products, environmentally friendly products made from recycled products. One particularly is Green Slope Ponding Water Repair Kit that we developed. Over the last 30 years in the commercial roofing business, I've had to deal with ponding water for years and years and years and tried to come up with a solution and just owners don't want the water there. It's not good for the roof.
Hmm.
Creates mold and algae issues, insects, slip hazards, all kinds of nasties. Weight is a horrible side effect. And we tried everything under the sun. I think some of your roofers on this show probably walk past it every day when they're at work.
Hmm.
Um, about 4 years, or I think about 7 years ago, we were using what's available out there on the market now. It's a concrete product. It's about the only thing that was out there, but concrete. It's 5 times heavier than what we have. It has
Hmm.
limited uses, and I felt like we could create a better mousetrap.
Yeah.
So what we did was took our residential product that we've had for about 15 years. It's called
Oh,
Curb Ramp, and
okay.
it is
Curb
a
ramp.
do-it-yourself kit that folks can do at home. If you want to see that
Yeah,
closer.
that's great.
Um,
Curbramp.us. Yeah,
yep.
that's great.
And
I'll put, and just so people know, I'll put that link in the description down below. So if
right.
people have driveway issues, because you said
Yeah,
in
it's
Georgia
a
a lot of people.
real
That's the trip.
simple product. We came up about 15 years ago. Came up with. I have 4 sons that actually helped me in the green slope and curb ramp business today. They're all grown, and but it was something that we created as a summer job so they could earn some money.
Cool.
And we've got curbs that or we just refurbished one
Mm,
probably about 2 months ago. That's been down over 15 years. And refurbished meaning just there were some chunks out here and there and just worn out. But 15 years and it's still going strong.
totally. My dad was a mason, so yeah, and 15 years is very impressive. Yep.
Well, it's one of those things. It's if you got a steep driveway and your car bottoms out at the bottom of the driveway. It's a simple product, just a level
Hmm.
it out so your car doesn't bottom out.
Yep.
And great, very easy product. So we basically took that product and modified it for the roof. I tested it for about 3 to 4 years on my
Wow.
projects as a
Hmm.
commercial roofing contractor myself. I tried it on my projects. Still go back to monitor the early ones we put on and came up with the right formula that we feel fits the mold.
Hmm.
And it's, again, a real simple product made from um, recycled EPDM and
Interesting.
EPS.
Hmm.
Very lightweight.
Okay.
It's less than half the weight of water that you're replacing. and it's a fill material. It's you're basically mixing the components on the roof
Hmm.
and filling a low spot like a pothole on the in a street, and creating where the water can't stand there anymore. And
Interesting.
you can also, it's not a self-leveling product, so you can build crickets and curbs.
Hmm.
Um, it's unique in the way that you can put it on slope roofs behind crickets, curbs, or
Hmm.
build crickets and curbs behind AC units,
Hmm.
skylights on
Really?
shingled roof, big
Oh.
air conditioning units on metal roofs that
Hmm.
water sits behind. What do you do with that?
Hmm.
It's a common problem.
So for residential roofers, it could be used in a lot of different places.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, and you talk to any of them, they'll tell you you just have to create your own fill material out of usually what's available on the job site, kind of thing.
Okay.
There's products that come and go over the years, and none of them really worked everywhere. And
Hmm.
so my goal was to try to create this product that we could put in as many locations as possible
Hmm.
and do with what we wanted to afterwards. Meaning,
Hmm.
we can install this on, again, shingle roofs, metal roofs,
Hmm.
TPO, any single ply roofs, foam roofs, built up roofs, modified roofs, you name it. It's very versatile on where you can install it.
Hmm.
We
And,
have, sorry,
and
go ahead.
and when you tested it for 3 to 4 years, you just came back and great results.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah. In fact, I go back and look at them a couple times a year. A lot of them are local
Hmm.
here.
Hmm.
And so it's easy enough for me to get on the roofs and look at them. They really look like the same way they did the day I put them down, just dirty. And
Hmm.
that tells me a couple things. Part of the challenges with the concrete product, for instance, and so many of them that come and go, is they get hard, and so they don't move with the roof. The roof membrane is constantly moving, breaks loose, so what you put down here breaks loose. Water gets trapped underneath it and actually starts to erode the roof membrane underneath this
Hmm.
product.
Hmm.
So it's doing a lot of harm. Plus, it's 5 times heavier. It's structurally creating a bigger problem
Hmm.
because it's overloading that roof structure. So we found that Green Slope works on pretty much every type of roof system we've run into, even slick TPOs, real slick surface. We
Really?
can bond to that.
It'll stick to that. That's cool.
It will.
Very cool.
Which traditionally silicone coatings,
Hmm.
TPO, white TPO membranes have a real slick finish on it, and
Hmm.
it's hard to get anything to stick to it.
Okay.
We've done numerous tests and worked with it over the years, no problem.
Wow. Very
Um,
cool.
the other side to that is that 99% of the time, most folks, contractors, or homeowners, whoever's putting this product down, will put a top coat on it.
Hmm.
Since this is a fill material,
Hmm.
you're just leveling that low point off,
Okay.
and it's still semi-porous. It has so it'll have some open pores to it. I don't know if you can see that. That's kind of a
Hmm.
finished product with some coatings on it.
Hmm.
But so if you want it totally waterproof, most folks are coating it or putting a top coat, whatever the existing roof membrane might be around it.
Okay.
They'll put that same coating or membrane to blend it.
I see.
So it basically disappears on it.
So wherever they need a fill, they'll put the green slope in, and then they'll cover it with, like you said, TPO, EPDM, modified bitumen, or whatever,
Yeah,
silicone, or. Hmm.
yeah. Any
Okay.
coatings. What's interesting is I grew up old school. Rubber and asphalt products don't mix. It's a petroleum product. It breaks down the EPDM. Interesting with Green Slope is our adhesive formula we use
Hmm.
encapsulates all the granules. So we have no problem putting just typical roof cements, silver roof cements, emulsions
Wow.
and roof granules as a top coat.
Wow.
A lot of different options that you
Interesting.
can do. And unlike concrete, This product stays
Flexible.
flexible. There's a little
Wow.
thinner and won't pop loose around the edges because when you have a ponding low area
Mm-hmm.
and you have deepest in the center, but you taper out to very thin around the edges.
Mm-hmm.
And this, when I go back and look at these that I've had down 6, 7 years, these little pieces are still in place that are when you go down to feather it out. None of them have popped loose. It hasn't popped loose and water gotten underneath it.
Mm-hmm.
It moves with the roof system.
Wow.
So we've got about 7 years history with that.
Wow.
And again, you can top coat elastomerics. They're real popular these days, white
Mm-hmm.
elastomerics, and there's all kinds of different brands out there. We generally recommend a thicker brush or trowel grade to give it a good skin and not use
Mm-hmm.
quite as much coating, to at least the first pass on it.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
One question just kind of popped in my head because you're down in Georgia. Has anybody up in colder climates used it, or have you seen it after some years after that? Does that matter at all to it, or
Oddly enough, it doesn't.
okay?
This will set up similar to what you might see on a track and field surface. It's
Mm-hmm.
about the closest thing I can come to describing it, which you'll find in any climates.
Mm-hmm.
We've put down in 5-degree weather up in the northern climates
Mm-hmm.
um, just to test if we had any long-term problems, which we did not.
Wow.
It was easy to work with at 5 below because we had the product warm. If it's cold, then your adhesive and your primers are going to turn like molasses and thick and hard to work with. So as
Mm-hmm.
long as you got three components, EPS, EPDM, and your primer and adhesive, which are the same products.
Mm-hmm.
Long as these are kept warm or room temperature, they're easier
Okay.
to work with. You can put it down. Again, 5 below is where we've tested
Five
this.
below Fahrenheit, right? Just to be clear, right? Yeah. Uh-huh.
Correct.
And so think of it maybe like paint. Paint you got to keep in pretty much warmer
Correct.
temperatures.
Right.
Uh-huh. So
Yeah,
if somebody's storing it, so this is something that should be or could be used all around the world, all around the globe, not just the United States.
absolutely.
Hmm.
Yeah, interesting enough that you said that we just ran our first test product in the UK. We've partnered
Mm.
with a coating company, All Time Coatings in the UK, and they ran the first batch. We've been working on this for a couple years now, and they ran the first batch last week,
Hmm.
and we're fine tuning it. And I expect to go there in the next probably 6 to 8 weeks to kind of kick things off and do
Nice.
some demo days. We've got a lot of interest from Europe, and this will kind of open that for us.
Oh wow, very cool, very cool. Yeah, I could see it be used anywhere. And uh, this just kind of popped in my head too. For roofs and stuff. Have you noticed any other type applications? Since my dad was a mason and stuff. I mean, for concrete anywhere or in landscaping or.
Sure. Yeah, it's funny because the more contractors I talk to, the more places they find for this. We found that typically, for instance, pitch pans, box you're putting around a penetration going through the roof system, and they traditionally fill with a concrete mix,
Hmm.
2/3, and then a pourable sealer for that top third. Or some use a pourable sealer for the whole thing. What we found is this is ideal to fill in that 2/3 before you put your pourable sealer in.
Mm,
And basically, you're filling that pitch pocket with 2/3 of this product to fill that space because pourable sealer is very expensive.
yeah.
But you really want that on the top surface. So this
Okay.
is instead of concrete,
Yes.
which leaves a dusty film, and you're really never sure if that pourable sealer is going to stick around the
Hmm.
surfaces. You don't have that issue with green slope. So pitch pockets, walk pads. You create your
Hmm.
own walk pads with it.
Oh.
It very versatile with that. So contractors will find their own uses for it
Right.
all over the place because it's so versatile and it's economical.
Right. And since you mentioned walkways, I'm just curious too. Is there a way to color it? Since if somebody wanted to blend it in, I don't, put a dye with it, or if somebody. Okay.
Yep. And, it's we've there's a lot of walk pads on the market out
Mm-hmm.
there. You find yourself in creating unusual type walk pads, certain situations.
Yeah.
And yes, you can do it in yellow, reds, all different colors.
They would just
Make
mix
a
it
lot
with
of,
paint or something, or
you mix it with paint, or we can actually get different color granules and
wow.
heads. And we've had people look at doing emblems on their roof.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, like Delta Airlines, when people are flying over, a lot of people are doing emblems of their company on their roof for advertising more than anything else. So we've had some inquiries about doing that as well.
And
So
when you mention that, so the granules, is that something they would buy separately, or you
no,
provide?
we would provide. Yep, we've done that. It's extra cost. It's
Sure.
cost extra for the manufacturer to color our granules for us, but it can be done, and yeah,
Really?
it's definitely an option.
Because you mentioned it comes out of West Pueblo, Colorado, right? Is that
Yeah,
right?
actually, we have partnered with Kirby Fiberglass, a 70-year-old manufacturing facility in West Pueblo, Colorado. They make mops traditionally for the hot roofing business
Oh, I've seen that. Yeah,
and
Kirby.
brushes.
KRBY. Okay. Hmm.
Right, yeah, very well known and great company, great group, and they make both our green slope and curb ramp and sell them for us.
Huh.
So
So
they've been a very good partner.
so if somebody wanted that colored version of it, they would order it from them and they would ship the granules, or how does that work? Or
Well, we work together, so the orders will go through Kirby and myself, and my sons are part of the business, and then it'd be a special order, and then we'd work it from there.
that's cool.
So it'll go through a traditional system, but we'd get quotes for them and different colors and things
Because
like that.
I
So
could see that in a lot of applications. Because I go to some parks and they have this cool material. They have different colored type walkways and stuff, and
yeah,
so I could see that. Or like you said, on roofs, you know, they wanted to have an emblem or colors, or wow, that's very
yeah,
cool.
we've actually designed a few things for Disney down in Orlando. For instance,
Really?
particular walkways. They weren't actually on the roof; they were walkways, and
Huh.
they haven't done anything with them yet, but we've designed them and we've been back and forth. So
Okay.
they're pretty particular about what products come on site. So we're kind of going through that.
Okay.
Now.
If you get pictures, you'll have to send it to me. Or
Oh gosh,
we'll have you back on. We'd love to have you back on if you get any of that stuff. I'm sure roofers would love to see that, and
yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
I was going to explain real
uh
quick.
huh. Yes.
The components are basic kits. It comes in a 5 gallon kit. I don't know if you can see that or not.
Yep. Yep. Looks
Very
great.
lightweight, and
Okay.
that's full. Um, it's we have the kit because a lot of times it's hard to get on the roof. And so a 5 gallon pail is easy for a service technician to have on the truck.
Mm-hmm.
Run up. One basic 5 gallon kit covers about 18 square feet at a half-inch depth, which covers a lot of ground
So I'll just back that. So 18 square feet, and I'm sorry, what was the depth?
at a half inch.
Half inch. Very good. So for a 5 gallon, 18 square feet, half inch. Okay.
Right.
Great.
Now, for larger areas, we have, I don't know, it's a plastic tote. I don't know if you can see that. It's
Yeah, a little bit
basic,
behind there. Okay. Uh huh.
basically has 3.5 5 gallon pails in it.
Three and a half. So about 15, like 16 gallons roughly.
Big
Okay.
sturdy tote. Um,
Very cool.
the guys end up mixing it all in one and keeping the rest, take it home, put the kids' toys in.
Oh, nice.
But it's
Yep.
uh, the basic 5 gallon kit. So what you're going to have is our blend of the EPDM EPS beads. You're going to have a pint of primer,
Hmm.
a quart of adhesive, and
Okay.
again, these are the same product, so you can intermix if you run short of one or the other. Um, and I'm going to just mix up a real quick little batch here while I'm talking, so you can kind of
Cool.
see what the finished mix is going to look like.
Yes.
Um,
And while you're doing that, I have a recommendation for you. I think you need to go on Shark Tank.
Well, everybody says that. This has been a lot of fun. I've always
Yeah,
been a tinkerer, and so this is, I've had a lot of products over the years, and some work, some don't, and
sure.
it's been exciting with the family. The kids have been a big part of it and are today, and really take most of the load off me. Um,
Because you have four
I,
sons.
what's that?
You have four sons,
4 sons.
and they all work with it or do it.
They all work to a certain
That's cool.
extent, and it's they do the websites, all our promotional stuff, any videos we do a lot of YouTube
Very
videos,
cool.
and
And
they're very sharp in what they do.
and let me interrupt you. That top container you just poured in, that was the, excuse me, a primer. Was that it that you put in,
I'm
or
using the primer
okay?
just in this demonstration because it is the same product. I just don't need a whole quart,
Yeah.
and all you're going to do basically is you want to make sure the granules are all wet. You
Okay.
can distinctly see what's wet and what's dry. And so it's important to make sure um, that the granules are wet enough because it's like concrete. If the powder isn't wet, then it's not
Mm-hmm.
going to do what it's supposed to do. And this will work very similar to concrete in how you form it. We didn't want something that was self-leveling. We wanted something we could build crickets and curbs,
Hmm.
direct water in tough areas where you wanted it. Really not meant for the whole roof.
Okay.
There are options out there. Roof drains, tapered insulation, a lot of other options for bigger areas.
Okay.
This is a solution for those 3 foot, 5 foot, 10 foot even areas that you just cannot get rid of the bird baths.
Okay. So the key
And
word is a filler. Filler, is that the key?
correct, it
Okay.
is.
And,
Um,
mhm.
Go ahead.
And so you mix it around, and the top container was the filler, and the one below that, is that also filler, or I'm sorry, not filler, primer. The one on
The, the
top's
small
primer.
one, the small one's primer.
Okay.
So basically, what you're going to do is you're going to clean your hole, your area on the roof. You're going to prime it with the primer. In the kit, get a mixing brush or a brush,
Okay.
instructions, gloves that I should have used, and a mixing bag.
Nice.
Now, what I found when we're doing this, and again, I used my own crews as guinea pigs,
Mm-hmm.
um, but you can mix it in the bucket if you don't need to mix the whole bucket at one time. You just mix everything proportionally.
Okay.
If you want to mix the whole bucket at one time, which most people end up doing,
Mm-hmm.
then we found the mixing bag is the easiest because what you're going to do is when you open the bucket,
Mm-hmm.
initially, you're going to pull out the gloves and the instructions and the brush, set those aside. Your pints and quarts always settle at the bottom of the bucket, so you got to dig for them anyway.
Okay.
So we thought, well, let's pour the whole rest of the bucket in the bag, dig your pint quart out of there. Now your blend of the EPS and EPDM are already in the bag. When it comes time to mix it, just pour any primer you have left over and the quart of adhesive into the bag with your EPDM and EPS.
Okay.
You want to hold the open end of the bag closed and roll it around on the roof. As silly as that sounds, it's kind of like
Mm-hmm.
kneading dough.
Oh,
You just
good.
roll it around till you're mixing the granules, making sure they're getting saturated.
Nice.
4 or 5 minutes, literally, is all that typically takes. You pour it in your hole that's been cleaned and primed.
Okay.
And then at that point, you can either, depending on how big it is, if it's a smaller area, you can just use your trowel. There's bigger trowels. You can use some mason's trowels with rounded edges for bigger areas. Or, in the larger areas, you may need a 2x4 or straight edge to kind of, once you get it into where you want it, you screed that off like you would concrete to
Mm-hmm.
level it.
Nice.
And then the key with green slope, as it is concrete, but more importantly with green slope,
Mm-hmm.
is to, once you get that in place where you want it, do what I'm doing here is you're compacting that.
Okay.
You're making that. I don't know if you can see that at all, but
Yep.
It's,
That
it's
looks cool.
tight or it's real loose.
Okay.
And people think it's almost alive the way it moves once it's
Yeah.
wet.
Right.
You have a couple hours to work with this, but it will start setting up on you. We wanted
In 2 hours.
something that
Uh-huh.
you could um, repair and mix up in the morning when you get to the job, and before you leave in the afternoon, top coat it if that's what you're going to do, because that's
Nice.
a an efficient service day, meaning you don't have to come back basically to finish that repair.
Is it like concrete? You need to let it set for 24 hours or so?
We have 24 hours in our recommendations,
Mm-hmm.
just because it's a moisture cured product that can take anywhere from 2 to 6 hours to set up.
2 to 6 hours. Okay.
Just depending on how thick it is, um, and the weather. If it's a nice sunny day like today, or if it's cloud, covered, colder in the
Mm-hmm.
winter, it's going to take longer to cure. But you can see where I've compacted this. But so, to answer your question, Dave,
Mm-hmm.
you can put this down, and then the rule of thumb is it can still be tacky and sticky, but you don't want it to displace or move around if you paint it or put something on top of it. So, whatever that time period is,
Mm-hmm.
if you stick your thumb in it and it leaves a depression, wait a little longer.
Okay.
But
Okay.
it'll set up very quick, and that was our goal, was to set something up quick, because we work in a lot of environments like Hawaii, for instance, or
Mm-hmm.
Florida. It's raining pop-ups
Mm-hmm.
all the time. You can put this down and it can pop up 10 minutes later and it will not wash it away. It's a heavy enough rain with big old raindrops, it'll displace it, obviously, but
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't wash off.
Wow.
Um,
And you have several commercial crews, and you've tested it yourself. It's practical. It's easy to apply. Do the other coatings or EPDM or other type of insulation. Right. It,
correct.
it it blends well with your workday, is what I should say.
Yeah, and it's an economical fix.
Mm-hmm.
We found when we started, we were doing a lot of these ponding water repairs, and they just were, the concrete product or whatever one we were using was just not quite working. And once we found that formula that works, what we found as a contractor was this was a brand new conversation with a building owner.
Hmm.
You're knocking on every one of these guys on your list here are
Mm-hmm.
knocking on doors every day trying to
Yeah.
generate business.
Uh-huh.
This product, totally different conversation. I've been knocking on roofing doors for 30 years, and same conversation. You want to repair, replace your roof.
Uh-huh.
Well, that building owner may have had 6 guys that week knocking on his door.
Uh-huh.
Never does anybody ever talk about, do you have ponding water on your roof?
Oh.
Standing water. The owner's
Huh.
head going, I don't know. Or he says, yeah, I've seen it out the window. And he goes, but I got a brand new roof. And it's a conversation. Would you understand your warranty might be voided with that water standing on the roof? Nobody probably told you that. This not only gets you indoors with someone who says, got a brand new 20-year roof, see you later. Gets you on those roofs, but it
Mm-hmm.
also gets you on the old roofs, because the building owners know that that standing water out there is killing the roof. Most
That's
of them are savvy enough to understand that.
great sales tip. That's huge because yeah, because then you differentiate yourself. Wow. And so let's say they do have a new roof, and then you can come in, fill it, and then you just put on a little silicone or a EPDM or a TPO and then they're done. So it's like a roof repair. Is that right?
Like a roof repair. Yep.
Okay.
And it just depends on what the rest of the roof is, on what they typically top coat it with. What we did a lot of time as a contractor was we had certain systems, coatings, or membranes that we wanted to direct the owner, because that's what we were good at
Mm-hmm.
and competitive with. And so we might solve a small problem, their ponding areas.
Mm-hmm.
This is a good example here. There's an
Nice.
EPDM roof. I don't know if you can see that or not, but they
Pretty good. Yeah, pretty good.
basically old scuppers. The water settles right in front of the drain scupper, and very bad for the roof. It gets worse and worse over the years. So
Okay.
we cleared around there, cleaned it, put the green slope down,
Mm-hmm.
and then we top coated it with a white urethane that we wanted to put on the rest of the roof.
Hmm.
So we did the repair and top coated it with what we were wanting to price for the rest of the roof area. That way, the owner could see not only we solved that, but he could see what that repair would look like on the rest of his roof.
Yes.
And we called it growing a roof. And it was a very easy transition from solving a common problem that you can find on literally 8 out of 10 flat roofs, some kind of ponding water
Hmm.
that you can strike a conversation up with the owner.
Wow. And,
Get to the roof.
and I would imagine in climates where there's more moisture, more rain and stuff, maybe like Washington or Oregon or something, I would think, is there more ponding issues, I would think?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. I always wonder, California never rains. You wonder if they have any issues, but they do have issues out there.
Okay.
A lot of plywood decks, and they really can't handle ponding loads.
Okay.
And it's just a natural settle of the building. I mean, every building goes through it, and you know, what we've done really is created a situation where the owner can get a viable, economical fix.
Mm-hmm.
A contractor has whole new opportunities. You talk to any roofing service contract manager
Mm-hmm.
who's trying to sell new service business. Tough to open that business without someone calling saying I got a leak. How do you create new business?
Wow.
This is the way to do it. This will get
Yes.
you on the roof, whether you use it or not. It'll
Yes.
get you to the roof with a conversation.
Right.
Easy.
Right. Because they always say your best customers are your present customers. So if you just do one little roof repair, then maybe in 5 years they need you. They call you up. Uh huh.
Yeah, so the win for the contractor, win for the owner.
Mm-hmm.
We market our green slope through distributors across the country, the ABCs, SRS, Allieds, SRGs across the country in different branches. We're not
Okay.
in all of them. We're getting there.
Okay.
We sell through a variety of coating companies and manufacturers.
Mm-hmm.
You can order it on our website if we don't have a distributor close by. If you want to be a distributor, we can talk. We'd like to get as many as we can, obviously. And
Okay.
we're a young a young company by the bootstrap, and we've done very well in a short period of time.
Yes.
Last year, we won top 40 products in 2018 in Roofing Magazine.
Nice.
Very very appreciative to them for the
Yes.
shots, and they've been a big help to us. But it's been fun. It's
Yes.
been fun. We're
Oh,
just trying to
totally.
get more exposure.
Yes. And just real quick, I'm backing up a little bit because I
Sure.
pop up. When you clean, like where you need to fill, is that something you just sweep, or do you clean it with just some type of soap or?
Good question, because that's important.
Hmm.
You want to be real careful what you clean a surface with that you're planning to put anything on. It's like painting a house. You want that prepped
Okay.
properly. So on a roof surface, we generally recommend simple green or something along those lines because it doesn't leave a film after you're done
Okay.
that you're concerned about sticking to. It's a clean wash, environmentally friendly, easy to get to, economical. So that's one of the better ones to use. And if you got bigger areas, we've got all kinds of secrets how
Hmm.
to clean and prep those bigger areas that a lot of contractors don't even realize out there. For instance, say
Hmm.
still blowers. Everybody knows still blowers, but
Hmm.
most contractors don't realize they have a handheld power broom that's the size of a weed eater and has a power broom on it. One guy can go up and clean a roof 10 times faster than anybody else with a power broom. And it's a great tool for service trucks. Things like that.
Hmm.
Things to mix this on a bigger scale in concrete mixers. There's just a lot of ways on bigger areas you've got to deal with, ways to speed things up, make it more efficient, and keep it moving.
Yes. And then do you apply the primer? Does that go into the where you fill it, or does the primer just for the mix?
No, the primer will go into the area you've
Okay.
cleaned.
So
Um,
primer just like paint.
just like that.
Okay.
And the reason we do that is we really try to stick to good roofing practice, and we want a good uniform bond in your repair area,
Hmm.
even though it's the same product. And in reality, what does since these granules don't absorb the adhesive, everything filters down or almost self primes with the excess adhesive, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
But the primer gives us a good uniform, and it's real important around the edges of where you're putting it to, so you get a good bite to that existing roof. So it's belts and suspenders for the most part.
Okay. Have you had to go onto a roof or any experience where there is lots and lots of ponding where they have to use lots and lots of uh, uh, of the product?
We have. We've had some real interesting hospital projects this year, and a lot of them you see on our website, or get in touch with me and I can get them to you.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Generally, when you get into bigger areas, I like to talk to the people and make sure all the other options have been explored: roof drains, papered insulation, maybe a combination of filling a deep area with insulation board, membrane, and then fine tuning with green slope.
Hmm.
Because if you try to do a really, really big area with green slope, it's gonna get expensive after a while. There's some other options that I want to make sure at least you explore.
That's cool. So people can contact you, email you, and then any
Send
type
pictures
of
that they need.
like you said with colors, you personalize it with the jobs. With I'll have to let me just go. I'm going to your LinkedIn real fast. Let me just try to pull up your website. So yeah, I've seen it before. Um, so it didn't pull up, but they can. Is it greenslope.net? Is that the?
Greenslope.co.
Oh, okay, okay. That's
Greenslope.co.
okay. Let me just pull it up real fast so people
A lot
can.
of good information on there, videos. There's an estimator, length times width times your max depth, and it'll pull up how many kits you need or totes. And
Greenslopeco.com.
no, it's just greenslope.co.
.co, not com, right? Just co.
Correct.
Let me just see if it. Are you able to see? Oh, there we go. Yep. Okay.
Yep.
Very cool. And yep, ponding water
There's a list of
basics.
distributors on there.
Beautiful.
See if you find one in your area. We we've it's we've been blessed. We work with 8 out of the top uh, commercial contractors in the country, regular customers.
Okay.
It's just been trying to get exposure, get it out there. It's a unique enough product that contractors aren't used to finding something on the shelf like this.
Yes. Right. And yep, I can see that. With the contact to form there. Oh, great. Your name's right there. Number, so they can help out. Some distributors. Very impressive. So it's just, you know, I love that you're able to differentiate with selling. It's a better mousetrap, and that you've done it for so many years. It isn't like you're inventing a product that you haven't really tested or you do it.
We
You
got a
live
lot
it
of
each day.
experience. Yeah,
Yes.
and coming from the roofing background, I know what's going to break down and what isn't,
Mm-hmm.
and we were able to really tweak this thing to make it work and practical.
Yes.
And you can see that sample's already set up, starting to set up.
Wow.
Um, it's
Quickly.
sloped. Yeah,
Yes.
so you can basically. What I liked about it originally, we gave us a solution for metal roofs. We did a lot of metal roof repairs, and you get those big units and water standing behind us. Finally, gave us this good solution because
Really.
this moves with metal panels, doesn't pop loose.
Huh.
It's just a solution to divert that water around the unit.
Wow, for a minute, yeah, because for whatever reason, I'm always thinking of flat roof. So
Yep,
so metal roofs, shingles, just wherever there's ponding,
correct.
they need to take a look at your website or call you. Or is there something I'm forgetting? Um,
I don't think so. We do a lot of trade shows. Come up and see us at the booth. We'll be at the Florida show coming up,
okay,
roofing sheet metal show.
roofing
Again, we're
metal.
partnered with Kirby Fiberglass, which a lot of folks know and already are set up with in their system. So it's an easy way to order
Great,
material if you're a distributor.
Great.
And Kirby helps us go around the country and do live demos to folks, and really get a lot of exposure.
Yeah. And just so the folks know, I've told John, I said, when you have a project, or a cool demo or whatever, just get on Skype. We can do a quick interview. We can do 5 minutes like this, so people can see it. Maybe when you go to the UK, maybe you can do a quick Skype or something,
Yeah, now that's not a
or
bad idea.
or
Yeah,
even pictures. I'll if you have pictures, I'll just do a quick video about it.
yeah, I'm pretty excited.
You
It's
know,
opened up a whole nother opportunity for us. Really, it's
yeah, yeah, no kidding. And we'll have to get you in China. Then you go get
yeah,
a billion people. You know,
yeah. Right.
you
I'll
know,
go anywhere.
yeah, you
I'll
might have
go
to learn a
anywhere.
little Chinese or something and get used to the
Yeah.
food, but you
All
know.
right.
So
I can
this
handle
isn't the last time I'll have John on here. This channel is about helping roofers out and get information, and so if questions pop in the comments, or any follow up, if when John's got a little time, if he's got a smartphone and Skype, we can get some more info, or help out. I love the idea of the sales distributorship, so that, because I talk to guys all the time that they're looking for new ways to grow their business, and what better
Sure.
way than this, and
Well, this is a good way to do it. Start with your service business, because this will get you on a lot more roofs, and it's hard to compare with other contractors doing the same thing, because it's such a new and unique thing,
yes,
and a different sales approach, worth a
very,
try.
totally, totally. All right, John. Well, I want to thank you so much for your time.
Thank
Getting out the demo, and I hope you can use that a little bit. Maybe you can use it in your yard somewhere or something.
Yeah, I'll put it somewhere. It's almost all set up already, so just a short period of time.
Yep.
But yeah, we
That
appreciate the
was it.
opportunity. It's a great avenue you've got here for folks to share their knowledge, and we appreciate you looking us up.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And we'll be in touch. So,
Okay.
all right, John. Thanks again
Thanks,
so
Dave.
much. All
All right.
right.
Have a great day.